Even though you people are recording or not recording, daily I'll record the sessions and I'm going to provide the files at the end of Sunday. Okay, for me Sunday. For Anthony, it will be like Friday night, like that. I'm going to forward all those recordings to people. Okay, fine. Any questions as of now? Let me share my screen. Okay, right. Right. Okay. So let me open this folder, DB activities. Today we are not going to discuss complete SQL Server and all, just a basic outline course. What is the course? Okay, where we are going to use SQL Server. What is a SQL Server? What are the uses of SQL Server? What is an application? What is a three-tier architecture? Okay, everything we are going to discuss in today's class. Just a basic class. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to deep dive into the SQL Server discussion. Okay. So right, and this is my okay. Let me open this as well. Shanil Kumar, Anthony, Madhumani, Rajesh. Yeah, Ramesh, I gave you the recording permissions to you. You can record the session. Okay, there will be one button called record. Just click on the record button so that it will be saved in your computer. Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
please mute yourself. Okay. If you have any questions, you can unmute immediately and you can ask. Don't wait till end of the class. Immediately you can unmute and you can ask me. Okay. No issues for me. But while discussing, as these classes are going to be recorded, if anyone is unmuted, the disturbance will come into the recording files, right? So please unmute if you don't have any questions. Fine. Right. Okay. So we are going to good morning all again, happy new year for all of you. Okay, so we are going to start this session from today onwards. Okay, usually classes will be there on Saturday and Sunday morning 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. IST. Okay, and for US people it will be 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. EST. Okay, Friday night 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. as well as Saturday night 11 p.m. to 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, same will continue for the next 1 month. So like after completing the 50% of the course, okay, maybe I may add one more extra class for every week. Means as of now, for the next 1 month, only two classes, 2 days per week. Maybe in the future, after 1 month, it can be three classes per week. Okay, 3 days, 3 days per week. Right, fine. So we'll quickly go into this SQL Server. What is the SQL Server? Where we are going to use the software? What are the duties of and activities of DBA? What is the course duration? How to practice? How we are going to set up the lab and all? What are the prerequisites for the lab? And how to get the softwares and notes? Okay, meeting software, like everything we are going to discuss. Whatever doubts are there, we are going to discuss in today's session, and we are going to discuss about some course outline as well. Right. So what is a SQL Server? We are here to discuss about the SQL Server. SQL Server DBA, the designation. Once you completed the course, you will be a SQL Server DBA. DBA means database administrator. Who is doing administration? He can be called as a DBA. Okay, SQL DBA, SQL, right? SQL DBA means SQL Server database administrator. So what is the software? What is SQL Server first of all? I'll give you a small example. Okay, so if you open any application, imagine, okay, I'm just opening Amazon.in. Okay, so I just open this application, right? You can see, right? You can see lot of products are there. This is an application. Application means simply a interface between the user and that particular, what we can call it as a one requirement. Say for example, you want to complete an online transaction. You want to send a money to your family members or colleagues or friends, to anyone, and you want to buy something. You want to book tickets. Okay, so for that, what you have to do, you have to open the respective websites. Usually we are going to call it as a application. Websites, we are going to call it as an application. Okay, so like the phones you can use, everyone is using smartphones, right? In your smartphones also lot of apps are there. Apps means what? Applications. So any application will follow a three-tier architecture. Any application will follow a three-tier architecture. What is the three-tier architecture? Whenever you open any application, see, this is your browser, right? You just, if you want to open any website, what you will do first? You will open a browser, maybe a internet explorer, maybe a Google Chrome, maybe a Mozilla Firefox, maybe an Opera. We have a lot of, okay, browsers are there. You will open browser, and once you just open browser, what you will do, say for example you want to buy something in the Amazon. Okay, so what you will do, you will simply type www.amazon.in or .com. Okay, amazon.in or .com you will type. Once you just type this www.amazon.in, automatically how you are getting response from the Amazon website, immediately one request will go. See, in the organization the setup will like this is called three-tier architecture. In tier 1 you will have web servers, in tier 2 you will have application servers, in tier 3, this is the final tier or backend tier, you will have database servers. Okay, whenever you just type www.amazon.in or www.irctc.com or www.hdfcnetbanking.com, something, whatever you're typing or what application you're opening, imagine your WhatsApp also will have same architecture. Okay, so immediately one request will go to the Amazon web servers. Okay, then Amazon web servers will send a request to that particular application server. Once it sends an application to the particular application server, so that you can see this front end. Application is nothing but a front end. Why? Because whenever you open an application, you can see the front end layout, right? So this is your front end. But unfortunately, application servers does not hold the data. Okay, application servers does not hold the data. Application servers means simply it's a layout. Okay, see, for example, if you want to buy something, imagine you want to buy something, this bought a adopt something like that. Whenever you click on this product, okay, automatically you will get some information about this product. What is this product? What are the specifications of this product? What is the price in one, in how many days the product is going to deliver? What are the review? Everything will be stored in a database server. Application server is just an interface between the user and the database. Simply, application is an interface between you. User means you only. Who is accessing the application? You will call as a user. Application will act as a interface between the user and the database, right? Whenever the application has been opened, you can choose some of the products. Once you just click on that particular product, you can see the product information, the product page. But where you are getting all this information, from where you are getting all this information, you are getting all this information from the database server. So whenever you just click on any product, application server will send a request to the database server. Application server will send a request to the database server. In database server, we'll have lot of products, crores of products will be there on the Amazon website. Crores of products will be there. How I am getting this product? Only whenever I click on this particular, what we can say, whenever I click on this item, why I am getting the information of this item only? Okay, why? Because for every click, okay, for every click, remember one thing, for every click in the back end, one query will run. For every click in the back end, one query will run. Where this query will run? It will run on the database server. I have lot of airdrops, lot of companies are there, different companies are there. But whenever I click both airdrops, I am getting both airdrops information only. How I am getting that information, that exact information? Whenever I click on that particular both airdrops image, in the backend, one query will run on the database. So whenever any query ran on the database, it will give some output, right? That output is called the product information. This product information, this query output will be sent to this application server again, again from application server to web server, again from web server to your browser. So whenever you are opening any application, whenever you are clicking any item, remember 7 actions, okay, are going to be done. Okay, this is one request, this is second request, this is third request. Again, once you just selected that product, one query will run, you will get one output, this is fourth request. And again, from your database server to your application server, fifth request. From application server to web server, sixth request. From web server to your browser, seventh request. Ultimately, user can see in 7 requests. Anything, okay. If you go for IRCTC, if you go for HDFC net banking, anything, the same process is going to be followed. Yes. Okay, let me check. Someone asked you the question. Your voice is breaking sometime. Sorry, Mani. Okay, just bear for me. If my voice is breaking, just update me immediately. I'm going to repeat that sentence. Okay, because of some issues, I guess internet is creating some issues. Okay, just update me if you have any issues and all. So, is it clear? Is it clear? This three-tier architecture is clear as of now. Any issues? Any doubts? Mani, Anil, Anthony, Banu, Upender. So clear, right? Ramesh, Rajesh, Madhavi. Right. So what is a SQL server? What is the role of the SQL server in this three-tier architecture? What is the role of the SQL server in this three-tier architecture? Okay, what is a SQL server? First, we'll go for SQL server. I'll give you some basic definition. Don't think this is the complete definition. What is a SQL server? You will came to know at the end of the course. Okay, this is just a basic definition to understand. SQL Server is a database software. Okay, SQL Server is a database software which will use it to store the data, process the data, and retrieve the data. Okay, to store the data, process the data, and retrieve the data. As of now, SQL Server is a software. If I want to say clearly, SQL Server is an RDBMS software. RDBMS. Okay, RDBMS software means relational database management system. Okay, SQL Server is an RDBMS software. Okay, I'll tell you what is this relational database management system and all. How we came to the SQL Server, how SQL Server, okay, introduced and all. Before SQL Server, what are the modes to save the data? In which way we can save the data and all. We'll discuss in the next class. Don't worry. Right. So SQL Server is an RDBMS software which is used to store the data, to process the data, to retrieve the data. This is the basic definition of a SQL server. Where we are going to use the SQL server in this architecture? Can anyone tell me? Just I'm going. This sessions should be interactive. Okay, I don't want to like keep on discussing same thing. It should be interactive. It will be good for us. Okay. So can anyone tell me in this picture where I can use the SQL server?
Tier 3.
Tier 3, very good, excellent. Okay, so in tier 3 we are going to use the SQL server. Forget about the web server, forget about the application servers. We are not going to discuss anything on tier 1 as well as tier 2 also. Okay, these are the different technologies. For application servers we have different applications like Java, .NET, and different application, PHP, HTML. These are the application languages. If you want application like you should be like application developer and all, that is different thing. We are not going to discuss about this. Remember one thing, without database no application will survive. Without database no application will survive. Application server should be there in the back end. Sorry, database server should be there in the back end. Okay, web server also will have ISS and all, sorry, IIS and all. We have application web server applications are there. So we are also not going to discuss anything. Why we discussed these three, this important topic means, in the organization, if you got any issue, immediately first they will blame the database server only. Hey, I'm not getting the data. Hey, my database server is not working. So if any request want to touch the database server, or else if any request want to get the update from the database server, it has to undergone for the 7 cycles. So there is a chance of this cycle or else this particular sequence will be broken at any case. Okay, this particular request cannot reach the web server itself. After reaching the web server, this may cannot reach the application server itself. After reaching the application server also, the request may cannot reach the database server, but simply users will blame my database is not working. So don't think if you got any issue that is the problem of database only. Maybe your web server is not working, maybe your application server is not working, maybe. Okay, so there is a chance of having other issues also. Don't blame the database server. Okay, there is a chance. Okay, there is a chance of having database issues as well, but don't think that is only because of the database server. So why I'm telling about this means, in the organization, if you got any issues, usually you will get incidents and all. I'll tell you what is an incident. If you got any database issues, users don't know this is because of the web server issue, this is because of application server issue, this is because of database issue. They don't know. They will simply blame my database is not working, I'm unable to get the data from the database. Okay, so in that case, don't think that is because of only database server issue. That may be because of any web server issue or application server issue, or maybe network issue, or any storage issue, or any Windows issue. Okay, so we don't know what is the issue. We have to dig into it. So don't worry at all. It may be a database issue, but it is not a completely database issue, right? And again, applications means, don't think this WhatsApp, Facebook, your Amazon, IRCTC, HDFC net banking, or else any other net bankings and all. In the organization, we'll have a lot of internal applications. In the organization, we'll have a lot of internal applications and all. Any application, the same formula will follow, same three-tier architecture will follow any application. Don't think like we are only working for Amazon application, we are only working for HDFC application. Any application, any will have a lot of applications. Every application will have a database in the backend. So it is our responsibility to take care of that particular database, right? Here you can see in the tier 3 or in the backend, you can see database server. Okay, in the backend, you can see a database server, right? So people are using smartphones, right? Someone may use Realme, someone may use give something is there, right? A Samsung, someone may use iPhone, someone may use different Oppo and all. It's your wish. Based upon the features and all, you are selecting the smartphone. In the same way, we will have lot of database softwares in the market. We will have lot of database softwares in the market. Okay, so what are the other database softwares? If I want to say who is the competitors for the Microsoft SQL Server, okay, we have Oracle, okay, MySQL, NoSQL, and DB2 from IBM. Okay, apart from the SQL Server, first is SQL Server. If I want to say MS SQL Server, MS means Microsoft. Okay, this is the product from Microsoft. MS SQL Server, this is one database software, and Oracle also will do the same thing. MySQL, NoSQL, DB2, okay, and MongoDB. MongoDB. These are a lot of different database softwares which are there in the market. Okay, in the back end, you can use anything. You can use Oracle software, you can use your MongoDB software, you can use your DB2, you can use your MySQL, you can use NoSQL, you can use MS SQL Server. If customers are using MS SQL Server, then only our work will start. As a MS SQL DBA who is managing this MS SQL Server, will call them as MS SQL DBA. Who is managing MS SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, will call them as MS SQL DBA. Okay, so in the backend, if anyone is using MS SQL Server, then MS SQL DBA will work. MS SQL DBA work will start. So we are here to discuss about the MS SQL Server. Okay, we are not going to discuss any other RDBMS softwares. We are only going to discuss about the MS SQL Server. Okay, when compared to other database softwares in the market, almost 55% share is there for MS SQL Server. Means for every 100 database softwares, 55 people are using MS SQL Server. Average, on an average, 55 to 60 people are using MS SQL Server. After that, more share will goes to Oracle. Okay, then will goes to MySQL, NoSQL DB2, MongoDB and all. Okay, so in the market, still MS SQL Server is the top database software. Okay, in the market, still MS SQL Server is the top database software. So in the back end, if anyone using MS SQL Server, then MS SQL DBS will work will start, means our work will start. We are going to be okay, like once the course is completed, we are going to call as an MS SQL DB, right? So if anyone using MS SQL Server in the backend as a database software, then our work will start. Clear? Any issues, any doubts as of now? Fine, right? Let me see, someone send message. Yeah, okay, fine. Right. So that is all about your SQL Server as of now. Just a basic discussion. What is a SQL Server? Okay. What is a SQL Server means? A SQL Server is an RDBMS software which is going to store the data. Means your database software will responsible for storing the data, and of course it is going to process the data. Okay, your database software will store the data and it will process the data, and whenever we need, then say for example, now once I click on this product, I got the product information, right? So whenever we need the data, it has to retrieve the data from the database, right? Whenever we need the data, it has to retrieve the data. Otherwise, if you are storing terabytes, petabytes of data, what is the use if you are unable to retrieve the data? Okay, so your database software should be responsible for storing the data and processing the data as well as retrieving the data. Okay, so it should be responsible for all these three things. Other than these three things, we can again use SQL Server for analyzing the data by using analysis services. You can generate reports of the data by using reporting services. You can integrate the data from different, so like from different sources, like from Excel to SQL Server, from Notepad to SQL Server, from SQL Server to Notepad, from SQL Server to Excel, from SQL Server to other RDBMS softwares. That is called integration. You are going to integrate the data from different data sources to SQL Server, from SQL Server to different data sources. That can be taken care by the integration services. So apart from SQL Server, we'll also have SSIS integration services, SSRS reporting services. SS means SQL Server reporting services and all. Okay, SSAS, SSIS, and SSRS. Apart from storing, processing, and retrieving the data, SQL Server can also be used as SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS. These three technologies we are going to call it as a MSBI, Microsoft Business Intelligence. SSIS means SQL Server Integration Services, and SSAS means SQL Server Analysis Services, and SSRS means SQL Server Reporting Services. Okay, so we are going to use the software for all these things. We are going to use the database in the backend. This is also an application only. SSIS is an application, SSAS is an application, SSRS is an application. In the backend, you can use either SQL Server or else you can use any other database software also. But SQL Server will provide these services for you. We are not going to, this is a separate course. Okay, anyone wants to try as a business analyst, okay, for them this will be useful. We are not going to discuss about this MSBA course and all. But as a DBA, what is our role in the MSBA means, sometimes customers will ask to install SSIS, sometimes customers will ask to install SSAS and SSRS, and it is our responsibility to install and to configure those services. Okay, so apart from that, we are not going to do anything. We are not going to touch anything. Of course, we are going to use SSIS, basic SSIS, to integrate the data, to import the data, to export the data. For all those things, we are going to use basic SSIS and all. But SSRS, SSIS and all, we are not going to use at all, right? Fine. So this is our responsibilities. Okay, let me go to this document. Yes, where we are going to use this software in the backend for every application. In the backend, we are going to use this softwares. Okay, what are the duties and activities of the DBA? What kind of duties will be there for DBA, SQL DBA, especially for SQL DBA? What kind of activities will be there? Right, as a SQL DBA, okay, It is your responsibility to install the SQL servers, to maintain the SQL servers, to configure the SQL servers. As a SQL DBA, it is our responsibility to install, configure, and maintain the SQL servers. Okay, we are going to discuss how to install and how to do all these things and all. Right. So creating logins and giving permissions. See, database is going to store lot of data. Okay, we are not going to give permissions to everyone to see the data. Imagine you are working for an organization. Okay, you are working for an organization. Your HR data will be stored in a HR database. Whatever human resource kind of thing, data will be stored in a HR database. If everyone is able to see your location, if everyone is able to see your phone number, if everyone is able to see your hike, if everyone is able to see your salary, is it acceptable? No, right? So some kind of critical information will be there, some kind of sensitive information will be there. We cannot give permissions to all of them. So it is our responsibility to giving the permissions, creating the logins. Okay, so as a DBA, it is our responsibility to complete these tasks as well. And again, taking backups and doing restores and all. So we don't know next minute what will happen. Maybe your database server will crash. Maybe something, any natural calamity will come. Maybe your whole data center will crash. So don't know what will happen in the next minute. Of course, your server may crash. Okay. So for that, what we will do, every data, every transaction, every record, we have to save properly. Okay. For that, what we will do, we are going to take the backups. We are going to take the backups and we are going to store in a location, maybe a network drive, maybe a local server, anything depends upon your organization requirement. Okay, and we have to take the backups whenever needed. Customers will ask, they need some production data. See, in the organization, how the architecture will be. Okay, so we will have different environments. Okay, environments, if I talk about environments, we'll have different environments. Especially we'll have two types of environment: production environment and non-prod environment. Okay, production environment and non-prod environment. Right here, production environments means live environment, the one which you can see here. Right, application is currently running on the production environment. Very important, very critical environment. You cannot do whatever you want on the production environment. You cannot do whatever you want on the production environment. It may fail. If something is failed on the production environment, your application will be down. Imagine Amazon is down for 1 minute, how much loss will be there for Amazon? Imagine like your net banking is down for 1 minute, how much loss? Imagine Sensex is down, for Sensex website is down for 1 minute, how much loss will be there? They should be always available 24 by 7 by 365 days. They should be always available. Okay, so in that case, if you want to do any maintenance activities and all, how to do that? Of course, every machine needs a maintenance activity. You have to patch the servers, you have to complete the maintenance activities and all. Sometimes we have to reboot the machines. It's compulsory. In that case, how to manage? We will discuss all those things, right? So in the organization, we'll have different environments: production environment and non-prod environment. So production environment means your live environment. Okay, this is your live environment. Whereas non-prod environment, in non-prod environment, we have different, okay, environments as well, like stage, pre-prod. We are going to call it as a non-prod or pre-prod. Stage servers, okay, and UAT servers, test servers, dev servers. These are the different terminologies you can see or you can heard in the organization. We'll have different environments: dev, test, stage, UAT, production, which is live, which is very critical environment. Production means is very critical environment. Sometimes in the organization, some organization even stage, UAT also are very critical environments. They will not allow you to touch those servers without having any proper change requests and all. You have to be very careful in managing these environments as well. Dev and test, and you can use these developers under, like people will be there, right? They are going to test any coding and all. Say for example, they want to introduce one feature. They want to add one tab in the Amazon.in. Here you can see lot of tabs, right? Here you can see lot of tabs. These are all different tabs. They want to add extra tab. Okay, they want to add extra tab in the application. So they cannot immediately add on the production, they cannot immediately add on the live application. First they will have same setup in their non-prod environment, maybe in the stage environment or maybe in the test environment. They will have same setup. Then first they will test it on the non-prod environment. If everything is working fine, then only they are going to introduce that particular new feature in the live environment. So this non-prod environments and all will help you to test their coding, to test their logics, everything. People are going to use all the non-prod environments to test their coding and all, to test their logics and all. If they want to introduce any new feature, they want to first introduce on non-prod environment. If it is giving good results, if it is not throwing any errors, any issues, then they will introduce on the critical production environment, right? But for stage UAT test dev and all, they don't have any applications, they don't get real-time data. Only for production, as production database is connected to the application, live application, you will get the real-time data. But for non-prod and all, how to get the real-time data? Why? Because these non-prod environments doesn't have non-prod application servers. Maybe if application servers are there, who will use the non-prod application servers? Who will use Amazon test application? You will not get real-time data, right? Then how to get the real-time data in the non-prod servers? Can anyone have any idea how to get the real-time data in the non-prod environments? But developers has to test their logic on the non-prod environment. Okay, so if they have real-time data, then only they can test their logic, right? Then how to get the real-time data on the non-prod environment? Can anyone having any idea, any hint?
Data migration, sir, from
Migration.
production to non-production.
Very good. Any other things we have? Do we have any other things apart from migration? Yes, I'll tell you. Okay. Simply backup request, backup and restore. Take the production database backup and restore it into the non-prod environment, right? Whatever real-time data will be there on the production database, right? Just took the production database backup and just restore on the non-prod environment. So you will get the real-time data on the non-prod environment as well. So as a DBA, it is our responsibility to take the backups for the safety of the data, and it is our responsibility to restore the databases whenever the customer needed. Clear? So it's our responsibility to back up and restore the databases, right? Next, and backup failures, restore failures. If any issues has came, like we have to take the responsibility and we have to troubleshoot it. If any issues came for backups, restores and all, we have to take the responsibility. Creating and scheduling the jobs and maintenance plans. What is meant by a job? Okay, so job means if I want to say a series of steps or else a query which we are going to schedule, right? Imagine, I'll give you an example. I have 100 servers in my organization. Sometimes you will get the questions like, how many servers in your organization? Don't tell one server is there, two servers are there. Don't tell like that. Tell them 2000 servers, 3000 servers, 5000 servers. Nothing, no issues. Okay, why? Because every organization on an average 1000, minimum 1000 to 2000, 3000, 4000. Or else if any new startup company also, at least it will have 100 to 200 servers. Very worst case, very less case, you will have 10 servers, 20 servers, database servers will be there. Okay, 10, 20 database servers will be there in very rare cases. Don't tell I have worked and I have experience on 10, 20 database servers. Tell as much as you can, so that they will have some idea. Okay, you just worked on a big environment. Don't tell in my organization 10 SQL servers are there. Don't tell. Then immediately they will find out you are not a real time. Of course, there is a chance of having 10 database servers also. I'm not saying it is wrong, but initial impression only, either they will get you don't have experience on the big environment, or else they will immediately get the okay idea like maybe he's managing or he's doing something like fake. Okay, so don't tell 10, 20 servers. If anyone asked how many servers are there, how many SQL servers are there in your organization, tell them 2000 servers are there, 3000 servers are there. It's common in the organization. Having 2000 database server is a common. Most of the organization, 70 to 80 percentage, minimum 2000 database servers will be there. Okay, very rare 1 to 2 percentage organization will have 20 database servers, 30 database servers and all. Don't tell them one server is there, two server. Immediately they will not ask any question. Okay, we'll update you. Okay, we'll update you. My HR will get back to you, like that they are going to okay tell you. So don't tell one server is there, two servers are there. At least 2000 servers are there, 3000 servers are there. Okay, fine. So in that case, if we have 2000 servers, for every server we can create lot of databases. 32,000 plus databases we can create for every server. Imagine I have 10 databases for each server. So 2000 servers means 2000 into 10, 20,000 databases are there. Is it possible to take manual backups on these 20,000 databases? We cannot, right? Mostly the database team will be highly, it will be 8 to 12 people for every organization. 8 to 12 people, very rarely you will have 15 people. DBS will be there, means in the shift maybe 1 or 2 DBS will be available. Is it possible to take the backups of 20,000 databases for them? No, it's not. Okay, so what we'll do for that, we are going to automate the things, we are going to create the jobs for that. So whenever we just write backup query, and if we just schedule that backup query, automatically whenever the schedule has been came, like sometimes for woke up, what we are going to do, we are going to set alarm, right? Morning 6 o'clock, automatically you will get one ring at 6 o'clock. In the same way, if you simply schedule a job, automatically that will wake up by that time and it is going to run that query. If you just mention backup query, it is going to run the backup query, so that it is going to take the backups of all the databases automatically. No need to do anything. If any backup job and all is failed, we have to take the responsibility. Otherwise, no need to take the backups manually in the organization on all the databases. Sometimes the requirements will be there, customers will ask, I need the full backup, I need the differential backup, I need the so and so backup. You have to take, very rarely you have to take, but regularly you will not take manually you will not take the backups on the databases. You are going to create a job for that. These jobs are going to run daily, weekly, weekends. Okay, so it is going to take care, the jobs are going to take care. So job means simply a series of steps or script or queries that are going to be scheduled. Maybe if you mentioned a backup query, it is going to backup, it is going to take the backup by that schedule. If you mentioned restore query, it is going to restore by that scheduled time. If you mention any other requirement, it is going to fulfill that requirement by using the jobs. So jobs are mainly for automation purpose. Okay, in the SQL server we are going to use the jobs for the automation purpose and all, and for maintenance as well, right? Right, very important topic, configuring high availabilities. What is this high availability? High availability, the name itself is saying high availability, means highly available. What should be highly available? What should be highly available? Your database should be highly available. Okay, if you have only one database server, is it possible to make them highly available? Is it possible to make that server as highly available? Highly available means 24 by 7 by 365 days, means keep on it should be available. But if we have only one database server, can we achieve highly available database? No, we cannot. Why? Because as I told you, we'll have maintenance activities will be there on the servers. We have to patch the servers, we have to reboot the servers. If any issue comes, we have to restart the servers. Servers, box, machines, these are the terminologies in the organization. Okay, server means we are going to call server as a box, we are going to call server as a machine. Okay, everything is same, right? So it is not possible to maintain the applications or to maintain the databases 24 by 7 by 365 days with a simple single database or single server. For that we should have minimum two servers. So in high availability we have different technologies, long shipping, okay, mirroring, okay, replication, okay, and your clustering. In clustering we have two things, Windows server failure clustering, okay, and SQL server failure clustering as well. WSFC, SSFC, Windows Server Failure Clustering, SQL Server Failure Clustering. Actually, our responsibility is to configure SQL Server Failure Clustering. To configure SQL Server Failure Clustering, we should have Windows Server Failure Clustering as a prerequisite. So it is our responsibility to configure SQL Server Failure Clustering. But Windows Server Failure Clustering, no need to configure. Windows people are going to configure. But of course, we are going to learn how to configure Windows Server Failure Clustering as well. Don't worry about it. And finally you're always on. Okay, these are the 5 high availabilities we'll have in the SQL server. Okay, log shipping, mirroring, replication, clustering, always on. These 5 availability technologies we are going to discuss. Simply now same concept, we'll have two servers. If something happened to the primary server, the application will be up and running from the secondary server. Okay, in that way we can achieve the high availability. Okay, something happened, you are going to patch one server. Okay, so primary server will be there, secondary server will be there in all of these technologies. usually application will run from the primary server. If you want, if something happened to the primary server, or if you want to just do the maintenance activities on the primary server, you will simply fail over the application to the secondary server, right? Now this primary will become secondary and secondary will become primary, so application will continuously up and run from the recent secondary. So whatever maintenance task, whatever issues, whatever troubleshooting are there, we can complete on your primary, the recent primary or recent secondary, and all you will get better understanding. We have a lot of discussion on the high availability technologies. So it will be like this: 50 to 60 percentage will be core database technologies, and 40 to 45 percentage we are going to discuss about the high availability. We have to give more important to the high availability. Okay, so we are going to discuss log shipping, mirroring, replication, clustering, always on with a real time setup. Okay, so don't worry at all, right? And it is our responsibility to configure and to maintain the high availabilities, right? Of course, if any issues comes in the SQL server, we are going to take care of it. Okay, we have to fix the issues, we have to troubleshoot the issues, whatever is there, whatever problem is there with the database, we have to find the, okay, root cause, and we have to fix it as early as possible. And tuning the SQL server, I'll give you one simple example. So earlier, now it is fine, okay, but earlier if anyone is used IRCTC at 10 o'clock to book the Tatkal tickets, you can simply see in 1 minute or in sometimes in half minute the tickets are going to be completed, right? In that case, sometimes if you are trying to log in at 10 o'clock 10 seconds, IRCTC means simply an application, railway application, Anthony. Okay, don't worry about it. It's to book the tickets in India, we are going to use IRCTC. Okay, fine. So sometimes,
Understand?
yeah, sometimes we are going to like whenever we logged in at 10 o'clock or 10:05, immediately you can see it will keep on running, it will keep on browsing, it will not allow us to log in. Why? Because lot of pressure will be there on the data. Why? Everyone is trying to connect to the same. Why? Because they need Tatkal tickets all over the India. At least 5,000 people may connect for all the trains. So if 5,000 people are connected to the database server, immediately you will get a slow response from the database server. 5,000 requests are running on the database server. Maybe 5,000 or 10,000, we don't know. But if lot of people are simply connected to the database server, the application will be slow. Okay. So in the same way, with same kind of issues we are going to face in the organization. Okay, sometimes the sessions will keep on running, sometimes the sessions will wait for other resources and all. It is our responsibility to tune the SQL server. If it is a CPA issue, if it is memory issue, okay, or else if it is any other issues, if it is a blocking issue, okay, if it is any resources issue, it is our responsibility to fix the issue. So tuning the SQL server also we are going to learn, that is called performance tuning. But again, I'm saying performance tuning or advanced performance tuning is completely a different concept, and people are going to take 20 to 25 classes to fulfill. But what I'll do, for a 5 years experience guy, whatever performance issues will come, I am going to discuss, I am going to teach how to fix those issues and all. So don't expect performance tuning. Why? Because to complete this course itself, it will take 2.5 months to 3 months. Okay, again, performance tuning, deep dive into performance tuning is not possible. But again, don't worry, I'm not going to, okay, what we can say, dissatisfy you. I am going to teach whatever performance issues will come, like high CPU, high memory, blockings, tempdb contention, application running slow, query running slow, these things and all we are going to discuss. So don't worry at all. But I am not going to discuss advanced performance tuning in this course. Again, my suggestion is, immediately you cannot learn advanced performance tuning. For you to learn the advanced performance tuning, you should have hands-on experience. So once you just got the job, once you just placed in a company, go through it. Once you got the organization idea or knowledge on the organization setup, then it is better to learn advanced performance tuning and all. For advanced performance tuning, you will have at least basic knowledge of T-SQL, Transact SQL. Okay, so don't worry, but I'm going to discuss, okay, whatever issues and all come for a 5 years, 6 years experience guy. If you are only in the shift, how to fix those issues and all, I'm going to cover all those things. Okay, people may expect advanced performance tuning, but again, I'm saying we are not going to discuss advanced performance tuning in this class. Fine, right? So these are the DBA activities and all, right? These are the activities of the DBA. Is it clear till now? Anything, any issues? Do you need a break? Of course, we are going to discuss for the next 30 minutes. Anyone need any break? I'm going to give you just a 2 to 3 minutes break. You can take the break and you can come back. In the meanwhile, if anyone having any questions, you can ask me. Fine. Okay. Yes, Anthony, I'm going to send the recordings and all. Don't worry about it. Each and every class I'll record and I'm going to send those recordings. But again, don't wait for my recordings. Okay. If there is a chance, record yourself. Why? Because sometimes it may late because of other issues. Okay. So I'll send it, but maybe it may take time, 2 days, 3 days and all. Just don't wait for it. Simply, I'm going to give you the recording permissions, right? You can simply record the sessions. Right. So any other issues? Can I continue? Any questions, any doubts till now? Right, I'll go one by one. Money, any issues as of now?
Yeah, no issues. You can continue.
Okay, fine. Okay, who is this HP? Can you please identify yourself, HP? You just connected from the HP laptop, but that's why it is coming HP name. But just please identify why, because other people are also going to join, right? So if I don't know like who you are, it will be difficult for me to understand.
So Ritesh, yes, sir.
Ritesh, oh Ritesh, thank you.
Yes,
Sorry
yes,
for that. Okay, fine.
yes.
So is it clear, Ritesh? Any issues as of now?
Yes, sir. I'm clear, sir. No, sir.
Okay, fine. Anil, is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
But
fine.
sometimes yeah, we're getting some network issue.
Yeah. I know, I can understand,
Maybe
but give
that's
me a week for the next week, or in the next week, I'm going to fix it. Okay, that is not an issue. If you have facing any troubles, if you don't understand, just ask me immediately. I'll repeat that particular sentence, whatever you are missing. Okay.
okay.
Okay. And Anthony, fine? Is it fine?
Yes, sir. It's all good.
Oh, okay, great. And Banu, Madhavi, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Madhavi, fine. Okay. So, and Ramesh, Rajesh, Upender, any issues, any doubts as of now?
No doubt, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, Shanmugh, so tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, so how they are interconnected? Are you going to cover those topics as well?
No. We are not going to cover. Simply, they are going to connect with the help of IP addresses only. Okay, connection strings. In the connection strings, we have to provide the IP addresses. Application server to database server, it is going to connect to see in the application. We'll have application setup connection string. So if this application want to connect to this database only, then in the connection string of application server, we have to provide the IP address of the database server. So automatically this application is going to connect to the database server. In the future, you will get some better idea on this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine. Right.
Yeah, but
Rajesh.
thing is, the SQL server, they are using SQL query language, right? So
Yes.
application might be, they can use different languages, maybe .NET, Java.
Here, yes.
So how do
Yeah. Good question. Okay. But to develop the application, people are going to use, okay, .NET, Java, PHP, HTML, different kind of languages. Just to develop this interface, this kind of interface. Okay. To develop this kind of interface and all. But don't think like that Java will communicate with the T-SQL. Okay. Simply to develop the applications only, they are going to use that language. Okay, once they developed that applications will have connection strings. Whatever database you want to connect, this application, okay, will have a connection string kind of thing, a setup file will kind of thing. In that setup file, you have to provide the database server IP address or database server name automatically. Okay, you are not going to write anything on the application server. Simply you are going to select it. Whenever you select that particular product, or whenever you just select that particular anything requirement, automatically as this application will be connected to the respective database server, the request will be simply sent through this to the particular database server. Application server Java is not going to communicate with the SQL language, not at all. Okay, the setup file will communicate with that particular database server. Okay, it's not like exchanging between the Java and T-SQL. No, it's exchanging the IP addresses between the application server and the database server. It's exchanging the requests between the application server and the database server. No, like the languages are not going to communicate. The requests are going to communicate using IP address or computer name or server name, whatever we call. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So Rajesh, right? Fine. Right. So let me continue this. We have completed the activities of the DBA. Right. Course duration will be 2.5 months to 3 months. Okay. In the market, no one is teaching. You can go for it. You can ask anyone. People are teaching at least means they are teaching maximum 30 to 35 hours. If you go anywhere and if you ask, people are teaching only 30 to 35 hours of course. Okay, but we are going to discuss almost 70 to 75 hours, means more than double. We are going to discuss more than double. So that's why usually it will take time for us to complete. Why? Because for everyone I'll say only one thing. You will not get the same interest for every time. You will not get the same same time for every time. You will not get the same time, and you will not get the money also. So whenever you got all these three, just go for the completeness. Don't learn without like complete knowledge and all. So just go for it. Just check with other trainers as well. Okay, they are not going to teach okay more than 30 to 35 hours. So whenever anyone is comparing, just try to compare the duration first. The same course I am discussing in 75 hours means, see, if I can complete 35 hours, I can close the session, I can start the new batch. But why I am dedicated for the 70 hours? But you should be complete. You in the lifetime you will get only once to learn this course. Okay, so whenever you're learning the course, not only SQL or any course, just go for the completeness. Okay, you should have complete knowledge. So no need to learn anywhere. Once you just having this kind of knowledge, once you just attend the sessions completely, okay, no need to learn the sequels or anywhere. Okay, just try to be dedicated, try to attend all the classes. So that is fine for us. We are going to discuss completely 70 to 75 hours. Okay, so it will maybe 2.5 months to 3 months we are going, means as today is Jan 2nd here. Okay, so it will complete it by March 2nd week, like that. It will completed by March 2nd week, and of course calls are good. As of now, calls are good, and like in the next 2 to 3 weeks again calls are going to start. Okay, call volume is going to start by March 2nd week, and all you are going to be ready so that you can upload the resume by March 2nd week. Okay, practice. How many years you want to put experience? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? You have to do that many hours of practice daily, not weekly, monthly, and all. If you want to put 5 years of experience, try to practice 5 hours a day. Don't practice whatever I'm saying. Try to explore the things. Try to dig into the things. Try to learn new things and all. Okay, if I select this one, I'm getting this output. Okay, if I select this one, what will happen? Just check it. You should be very good in the practice. You have to be dedicated for this. Remember one thing, for the next 2 to 3 months. Okay, just sit on this technology. Concentrate on this technology. Forget about the jobs and all. Forget about everything. Just love the subject, learn the subject. That's fine. Ultimately you'll get the job. Don't worry about the job. Once you love the subject, just try to dig what is there in this, what is there in this, just to try to dig into it. Ultimately you will be succeeded. Okay, maybe in 3 to 4 months and all, but try to practice as much as you can. Whatever I'm saying, don't try to output or don't try to exhibit the same thing. Try to explore the new things. That will help you. Right, so you should practice every day at least 2 to 3 hours. At least if you don't spend at least 5 hours, try to practice at least 2 to 3 hours, so that you will have good knowledge on the course and good support on the course as well. Lab setup and prerequisites. So we are going to use okay Oracle VirtualBox for the whole course. This is the virtual machine software. We are going to use the softwares to create virtual machines. We are not going to install SQL Server in the local. Everything we are going to install on a virtual machines only. We'll have virtual machine softwares like Oracle, VMware, Hyper-V. These are the different technologies. Okay, we are going to use Oracle VirtualBox softwares to create the virtual machines. See, these are the old machines for the old batch, previous batch 34. Okay, Active Directory setup, Node 1 setup, Node 2 setup, like this. You can see all the setups, right? From day one onwards, we are going to discuss in a real time scenarios and all. Okay, we'll have virtual machines. We are going to install Windows servers. On the top of that, we are going to install SQL servers. There is nothing local. People, I can see they are charging more money and they are simply installing SQL server in the local laptop and they are discussing log shipping in the local laptop itself. How can you learn the real-time things in that case? Okay, simply they are installing in the local laptop. They are saying they are saying the log shipping, mirroring, everything in the local laptop itself. They are completing itself. Okay, so you are, in that case you are not going to get the good knowledge, or else you are not going to get the issues and all. Whatever real-time issues will come, you are not going to get those issues. Okay, so that's why from day one onwards we are going to create virtual machines. We are going to install Windows servers and we are going to install SQL servers on top of the virtual machines, and real-time setup, how to connect to the server in the real time, remote desktop, how to do the remote desktop, RDP and all we are going to discuss. Okay, so I'm going to provide the Oracle VirtualBox software so you can install. I'll tell you how to install it and all. Don't worry at all. Okay, right. DB activities. Yeah, fine. Practice and lab setup prerequisite. Prerequisite for setting up the lab means you should have a laptop or desktop with at least 8 GB to 12 GB RAM. Okay, that is the only thing from your side. You should have a laptop with at least 8 GB to 12 GB RAM. Initially 8 GB is not required, 4 GB is also fine, but whenever we are going to create the Active Directory setup, Node 1, Node 2 setup, all these three machines should run at a time. In that case 4 GB is not sufficient or not enough, so you should have at least 8 GB RAM. Okay, to make the things better way or fast. Okay, if you don't have 4 GB RAM, if you don't have minimum 8 GB RAM, you cannot create this Active Directory setup, Node 1 or Node 2 setup. So after 1 month we are going to create this Active Directory setup and all. So initially 4 GB is also fine for the next 1 month, but if you have 4 GB, try to upgrade to 8 GB or 12 GB. That will be fine. Okay, for the practice and all. Softwares and nodes, I'm going to provide Oracle VirtualBox softwares. I'm going to provide Windows Server softwares. I'm going to provide SQL Server softwares. Okay, softwares, don't worry about softwares and all. I'm going to provide the softwares. Nodes also, I'm going to provide the 50% notes in advance. Okay, later while discussing the concepts, I'm going to forward the notes for each and every topic like backups and restores, upgradation and migration, log shipping, mirroring, Active Directory setup, clustering, Windows clustering, SQL Server clustering, everything I'm going to provide the documents one by one. Okay, and meeting software, we are going to use Zoom meeting software. The same meeting link will be there for the next 2.5 months. There is no change in the meeting link, meeting ID and all. You can simply click on the meeting link to join the session at 7:30 a.m. Okay, on Saturday and Sunday. So meeting links and all, the same meeting link will be there. Recordings, as I told you, I'll give you the recording permissions. At the same time, I will also record the session, each and every session from my side. Okay, what you can do is better record the sessions from your side so that you cannot, you no need to wait for my recordings. Okay, so all the recordings will be stored in your laptop. If you need, or if you don't need, again I'll send the recordings, every recording for you, but it will take some time. Doubts and exercises, whenever you have any doubt, you can immediately ask me, you can stop me, ask me. Okay, just clear your doubt, don't put the doubt in your brain. Okay, so that you cannot concentrate on the discussion. So immediately if you have any doubt, you can ask me. So there is nothing like please wait till the end of the class. You can ask immediately, you can stop immediately, and you can ask the class. Exercises, for every topic I'm going to give you the exercise. Every topic I'll give you the exercise. Try to be responsible, try to complete the exercises. Okay, so try to, like, whenever I give any assignments, exercises, try to complete it as early as possible, so that it will help you in searching the things quickly. Remember one thing, software engineers are not great people. They will simply do the things great way, that's it. How? They don't have any knowledge, of course they are like you only, but they will use the resources properly. Don't think like software engineers are great. They are great in using the resources. What kind of resources will be available? Simply Google. So you should know how to Google it. These exercises and assignments will help you to Google the issues. Okay, I cannot discuss all 50,000 errors in SQL Server. 50,000 errors are there. Is it possible to discuss 50,000 errors? Okay, this error comes, you have to troubleshoot like this. This error comes, you have to troubleshoot. In that case, you have to learn this course for 2 years. We cannot discuss all the errors, right? I can help you how to check the errors, how to see the errors, what are the basic troubleshooting steps. Okay, and whatever issues, say for example, in high availability log shipping issues came, where to check, how to troubleshoot it. I will help you in those, but I cannot complete all 50,000 errors. It is your responsibility. Okay, so whenever any issue, we don't know what kind of error will come in the organization, so it's your responsibility. So simply, I'm not asking you should be proficient in 50,000 errors. You should be proficient in searching. You should be good in searching. Okay, so these assignments and exercise will help you to search the things properly. Okay, clear? So I'll give you the assignments for each and every topic. Same, I'm going to ask the questions as well for every session. Okay, I'll ask the questions from the previous sessions. Okay, so don't think I'm doing foolish kind of things. Yes, but it's I just what I can say, I will dedicate it to the sessions. Okay, I should get some satisfaction. Okay, these people are learning, these people are putting efforts, some efforts to learn. So I'll ask the questions as well. Okay, so if you know the answer, you can tell me. Okay, fine. And myself, I am Shanmukh. You can call me as Venkat or Ramesh. Ramesh is my Facebook account. Okay, so anything you can call me. I'm having 10 plus years of SQL DB experience and 6 plus years of teaching experience. Okay, I'm working for a UK based company, working in Bangalore location. Fine, this is all about me. Very short intro. Okay, right. So any issues, any doubts as of now? So that's it for today. We are not going to discuss anything technical subject and all today. Tomorrow onwards, we are going to start with the versions of the SQL Server. What is the SQL Server? We have already discussed it, right? How many versions are there? What is the version? How many editions are there? What is an edition? What are the components? Okay, what are the prerequisites to install the SQL Server? How to set up the virtual machines? How to install the VirtualBox software? Okay, these things and all we are going to discuss in the coming classes. So any issues, any doubts? Is it clear? Fine.
Fine, sir.
Right. If you have any questions, you can ask me. And again, one more thing I want to discuss. Azure SQL DB is one more important thing. As of now, people are migrating. Okay, from on-prem to Azure. The same thing what we are doing in the local machines, virtual machines, we have to do it in the cloud. Simply Azure means we have to do the same thing on the cloud. Okay, so as of now, for the next 6 to 8 months, Azure is not compulsory. People will ask, do you have Azure knowledge? Why? Because now 30 to 40% companies are migrating from on-prem to Azure. It is good if you have Azure knowledge, but don't worry, for the next 6 to 8 months, even if you don't have Azure knowledge also, you can simply manage. So recently my company started migrating from on-prem to Azure. So they are telling, they are teaching Azure also for me. So as of now, I have some basic knowledge how to run queries and all in Azure servers. Like that, you have to manage in the interview. But after 6 to 8 months, maybe they will ask Azure as a compulsory. Okay, but as of now, just in this 6 months or 8 months, you can easily cover without Azure also. Okay, fine. And any questions?
Will you discuss Azure also?
No. I am not going to discuss. Maybe in the future I may start Azure. Okay, I'm also learning Azure. So in the future maybe I'll start the Azure sessions and all. But as of now, I'm not discussing any Azure. Fine. Is it clear? So if everything is clear, I am going to drop the session for today. Okay, tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. IST
Okay.
and 9 p.m. EST, you can connect. Fine. All right. So if you have any questions, you can send a WhatsApp message to me. You can WhatsApp me. We are going to discuss everything. Okay. Don't worry. What I'm going to support you like anything till you get placed in a company. I will be there. Even though once you got the job, I will be there. If you have any issues and all, so don't worry. Support will come in all the ways from my side. The one thing I'm expecting from you, dedication, try to maintain, try to prepare. Okay, we'll discuss it, Manu. I'll tell you. Okay, try to prepare everything, and whenever I'm just discussing, try to prepare a notes. Remember one thing, I'll give you one success notes. Okay, so whenever the class is completed, we are going to have like weekend classes, right? We'll have 5 days, weekdays and all will be free. Once the topic is completed, try to make your own notes. That will help you a lot. Remember, that will help you a lot. If you are concentrating in preparing a notes, remember that should be a best notes in the world. Everything, every point regarding that point should be mentioned in that particular topic. Try to prepare the notes in that way. I'm sure after 3 months you will have good enough knowledge to crack the interviews. Maybe 1 or 2 interviews you may fail because of fear, but third interview onwards you will get a lot of confidence. Okay, so try to prepare your own notes. Once I just completed the discussion, once I just completed the topic, try to prepare your own notes. I'll encourage to prepare your own notes. Okay, so try to prepare it. That is one success mantra I can easily say. Prepare your own notes so that it will help you a lot. Yes, thank you, Anthony. Right, so that's it for today. If you have any questions, just note down somewhere and you can ask me in the next class, which is going to start in the which is going to start tomorrow. Okay, fine. So I'm going to close the session for today. Fortunately, the session hasn't been closed for the 40 minutes, but usually it will close for every 40 minutes. I don't know. Fortunately, this time it hasn't been closed for 40 minutes. We'll see. This is going to continue for the next classes or not. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you. I'm going to close the session. Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Bye, Anthony.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.